Before you begin, review and follow precautions. Power down the server. Disconnect each power cord from the power source. Disconnect all peripheral cables from the server. Disconnect each power cord from the server. Remove the access panel. Using a T30 Torx screwdriver, loosen one pair of diagonally opposite screws. And then loosen the other pair of screws. Set the anti-tilt wires to the unlocked position. Lift the processor heatsink module straight up from the system board. Place the processor heatsink module on a flat work surface with its contact side facing up. The processor carrier assembly must be removed and replaced as a unit. Do not separate the processor from the processor carrier assembly. Carefully disengage the processor carrier assembly from the heatsink by rotating the thermal interface material breaker lever and to release the adhesive bond. Detach the 4 latching clips of the processor carrier assembly from the corners of the heatsink. Remove the processor carrier assembly from the heatsink. Use an alcohol wipe to clean the old thermal grease from the heatsink and the processor carrier assembly. Allow it to dry. Apply thermal grease in a pattern of 8 big dots on the processor carrier assembly. Make sure the triangle on the processor carrier assembly aligns with the beveled corner on the heatsink. If you are using a new heatsink, remove the protective film from the thermal interface material before proceeding. Lower the replacement processor carrier assembly onto the replacement heatsink to attach the 4 latching clips. Pay attention to an audible click to indicate the heatsink and processor carrier assembly are latched in place. Note the front of the server text on the heatsink label to correctly orient the processor heatsink module over the bolster plate. Carefully lower the processor heatsink module straight down onto the bolster plate guide posts. The posts are keyed so that the module can only be installed one way. Make sure that the module is properly seated on the bolster plate before securing the screws. Now set the anti-tilt wires to the locked position. Set the torque of the wrench to 0.9 Nm, and then tighten one pair of diagonally opposite T30 Torx screws. And then tighten the other pair of diagonally opposite T30 Torx screws. Install the access panel. Install each power cord to the server. Install all peripheral cables to the server. Install each power cord to the power source. Power up the server.